Humanity has hundreds of stories regarding the creation of the universe, the history of the planet, and the birth of mankind. Some of these stories are oral traditions and are handed down to subsequent generations in the form of songs and folklore. Other civilizations managed to record these tales in writing, forming the many religions and mythologies that we know today. Giving the subject of religion and mythology no more than a cursory glance, one may be forgiven for believing that these myths of history and creation are the misguided accounts of an ignorant and superstitious people. Truly, the stories of myth are easy to dismiss. Modern man has, for the most part, accepted the assertions of psychologists regarding these ancient tales. The gatekeepers of psychology, men like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, have suggested that the stories told by ancient man are no more than the symbolic retellings of a conflict occurring in the psyche of the individual. They reason that the gods of ancient man are no more than different aspects of the self. For example, each mythology seems to have at least one good god and one trickster or villain god, and these two gods represent the internal and external battle of good versus evil within the heart of every individual. With the wild tales of mythology being food for the incredulous, and often describing impossible happenings, this view of mythology is understandable. This interpretation of mythology, that mythology is no more than the embodiment of an individual's and society's inner struggles, is echoed in the universities, Discovery Channel specials, and everything in between. But there is something missing from this explanation. The gaping hole in this reasoning comes from the incredible consistencies woven into man's many creation stories. These consistencies are so numerous and remarkable that they invite the curious mind to explore them, if for no other reason than to explain the similarities away. Since the internal conflict in the hearts and minds of man can be symbolized by any implements, and since each mythology is retold in a way peculiar to that civilization, it's curious that ancient man would still tell a collective story regarding creation and history. The most well-known and prototypical of these creation stories comes from the Bible. In the first book of the Bible, God creates the universe, earth, animals, and humanity in 6 days, resting on the seventh day. The first two humans, named Adam and Eve, were given a paradisical land called the Garden of Eden. It is at this point a character called the serpent, who is unambiguously described as the enemy of God, tricks Eve into eating the fruit from the tree that the Most High God forbade. The serpent's claim was that the fruit God so adamantly forbade was capable of remaking Eve as the gods. After biting into the forbidden fruit, Eve's eyes were opened, and she came to know good and evil. Eve then convinces her husband, Adam, to also eat of the fruit, thereby opening his eyes as well. When God discovered what the primal couple and the serpent had done, Adam and Eve were banished from paradise. Adam and Eve leave the garden and begin having children to the east. As humankind began to multiply, the serpent, also called the sons of God, began to lust after human women, and soon began to procreate with our race. The offspring of this union